What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the late review for the Real Housewives of New York. This is season 14, you guys. This is episode number 2, and this episode is titled Old Christmas Tree, you guys. So, before we jump into this live, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a big, huge, silent favor and please stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your post notifications, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this episode of The Real Housewives of New York, you guys. Shall we? All right, you guys. So down in the comment section and in the live chat, please tell me, you guys, what are your thoughts and opinions on episode 2 of The Real Housewives of New York? I will say episode 2, it's so far from me. I'm enjoying New York. I want to know what you guys think. Um, I see on social media where people have differing opinions about New York reboot. Some people like it, some people don't like it, but for me, I'm enjoying it. Like I said again, please let me know what you guys think, and we'll just go from there. So this episode, we see as it opens up, we open up with Uba. She went over to Size Brownstone, right? So we find out that the ladies are going to the Hamptons, right? And this is actually off season, but they're going to be going to Aaron's house, and Aaron has invited all the ladies there. So I believe it was Uba who asked Sai. No, it wasn't. It was when so Uba, Sai, and Jessel, all three of them are going to be riding together to the Hamptons. And the way that they packed, I was like, damn, are y'all moving? Because you would literally think that they were moving to the Hamptons the way that those bags that Cy had and the bags that Jessel had. You would really think that they were moving, right? And then what really threw me is the fact that Cy, she's bringing some toilet paper with her because she doesn't want to use one ply toilet paper, not even knowing if Aaron has one ply toilet paper or not. I was like, oh my God. First week's episode, we were talking about cheese, and now this week's episode, we're talking about toilet paper and it's food. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. So, like I said, so far New York is I'm okay with it, right? I'm okay with it. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Sai had 8 bags that she brought with her. Now they didn't count how many Jessel had, but I know that their car was packed down, right? So we finally see Aaron's home in the Hamptons. It's a very nice house, by the way. And then also, what else happened? Oh, we saw Jenna show up. So Jenna showed up in her car, and man, you guys know if you guys didn't watch episode 1 review, you guys, I am obsessed with Jenna. I like Jenna. I know Jenna was on The View this past week, and she was talking about her she has some kind of a illness, and I know her. She said her teeth are not real. I think her hair is not real. A lot of things about her are not real, but either way it go, Jenna is still my girl, right? So when it comes to Aaron, Aaron told us that the house that she has, she bought it and it was a renovation. And when they showed the before and after, I was like, wow, you would have never guessed that. And what I will say is the house after, I mean, whoever decorated that house, if it was her, she did an amazing job with it, right? So the one thing I will say about these ladies that I do like is the fact that they are very bougie, right? So they're talking about food. So they called Aaron, right? It was Jessel, Sai, and Uba. They called Jessel basically to ask Jessel like what's for what they're gonna be eating when they get there, right? She says, well, I have caviar out. And I was like, caviar? I was like, okay, girl. I mean, if that's what you want, but I'm like, I don't necessarily know that I would want to eat caviar, but and I don't think that Jessel, well, not Jessel, but I know for sure Uber wasn't feeling it because Uber was like, "Where's the grocery store?" Right? And then, so we see them as they finally do make it right, and we find out that with Uber, Uber would prefer to stay in the hotel, right? Because Uber is very nervous about staying the night, and I'm with her, right? When I go somewhere, especially if I'm staying like with the friends or something, and I've never stayed with them before. I am a little nervous about staying with people sometimes, not all the times. There are times that I'm like, I don't know. And I won't go into detail why I'm nervous about doing it, but yeah, sometimes I prefer not to stay with people. I prefer to get a hotel room. So that's where she was. So then we see Jenna. Like I said, Jenna was the first one to arrive, and when she got there, she was looking at the caviar. They had put caviar on a Pringle, and I was like, "That's very interesting. You put caviar on a Pringle. Now, isn't caviar already salty?" But hey, I was like, "Okay, we mixing salt with salt." But hey, it is what it is, right? So back in the car with Jessel and Uba and Aaron, they were talking about if Bren was coming. So they said Bren isn't coming. I think they said something about Bren had to get a steroid shot, so they don't know if she's coming or not. So in the car with Uba, Jessel, and Sai, they were discussing the fact that Jessa hasn't had sex with her husband in a whole entire year, and they were like, "Why haven't you had sex with him?" And so you guys know that Jessel has twin boys, right? And so Jessel was talking about the fact that after she had her kids, she had to have a cesarean section, and so she just feels uncomfortable with her body at this point. And I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But I was like, damn, you waited a whole year, like with your husband. You and your husband have not been intimate in a year. Wow. That's, I mean, very interesting, because even I think it was Uber at one point, he was like, and at the point of getting married, like, I mean, you can have sex basically whenever, right? And I was just like, okay, let me know what you guys think about that, if you have any feelings about that. But I do get her saying that she's uncomfortable with her body after having a C-section. I definitely get that. Not something that I experienced or will ever experience, but I can imagine, it would take a toll. I mean, I don't know what the scar looks like, but I can imagine that you wouldn't feel sexy or feel comfortable with yourself. So I get it. And they were talking about at one point, do she have, she just needs to get on the dick and just go, right? So they all make it to Aaron's house. And then we see as all the ladies are getting their rooms. And one thing that I will say about this situation with them getting their rooms, it very much so reminded me of classic Real Housewives of New York. If you guys remember, anytime I used to go to Bluestone Manor, Dorinda's place, how nobody wanted the shark room. That's just what I thought about when I saw it. I thought about the shark room. God, I do miss the original Roni ladies. I do, but I am enjoying this, you know, resurgence, or this boost. I'm enjoying it, but yeah, I definitely do have to say that I miss, seeing the women go to Bluestone Manor and nobody wanted us to go into the shark room. But yeah, it gave me those vibes. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, right? But what I will say though, all the rooms were nice. The only person who I don't think was the fondest of their room was Jessel, because she was in Aaron's daughter's room, but even that room was still nice. I know at one point Sai was talking about, the closet space in her room, but I'm like, man, you packed like you were going on the trip for 3 weeks because you have 8 bags. Now I get it, Sai is a content creator, and that's fine, but you packed way too many clothes. Like, what are y'all? I think they're there for the weekend, and it's off season, so I don't think it's very much for them to do. So yeah, I think Jenna had the best room, one of the better rooms. And I will say, with Erin, she had like, I think, little robe tops for them in their room with their names engraved on it and embroidered on it. I was like, okay, I like that. So at one point, we see the ladies. They sat down, and Jenna was talking about her mom. So I guess her mom had recently passed away, and I believe it was Sai who asked her, "Well, were you close to your mom?" And she says, "Not really." So we find out why. So she said that her mom had Asperger's, and so her mom wasn't the nicest person. She was actually very cold, and her mom wasn't diagnosed until later in life. So, she didn't have the best experience with her mother. That's why in episode one, when she met Jessel's mom, she, immediately took to Jessel's mom because Jessel's mom was warm and was inviting. And what I will say though, when it comes to Jenna, although I like Jenna, you can see a little coldness when it comes to Jenna. You can see a little bit of coldness with her, and it's the way when she talks, it's just like kind of blank. and emotionless sometimes when you look at Jenna. But again, at the end of the day, I still rock with Jenna, and Jenna is still my girl. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. So the next thing they talk about was the fact that Jessel has not had sex with her husband, right? So I know Aaron had asked Jessel, like, do you have a vibrator? She said no. And then they asked her, I've already said why she didn't have sex. So they talked about that. And so what happened is Jenna had brought lingerie for the ladies. So she went and got the lingerie for them. And, Erin, she opened hers. She loved hers. Then, Sai opened hers, fell in love with hers. And then you had Jessel who opened hers, and hers, she just did not like it, right? She said yours, she was talking to, both to Sai and to Aaron, saying that theirs are sexy, but she didn't feel like hers was sexy. And I'm like, it's not that it's not sexy. I don't think it fits. What the issue is it hers looked like it was too big for her. That was weird. What I noticed, it looked like it was a little too big for her. And then when she tried on later in the episode, I'm like, yeah, I think it's just too big for you, because it looked like it sagged in the the boob area, and it was like a long night dress. What it looked like to me. But other than that, I mean, it wasn't as bad as she's gonna make it out later on in this episode. But so at one point, Uba ended up leaving because she wanted to go to the store to get some food because she was hungry. And here's the thing with Jenna, not Jenna, but Aaron. Aaron, yeah, I know that you wanted the latest. I know that you figured the latest probably could wait till dinner, which was at 7 o'clock. But um, yeah, at least have some. I mean, it ain't got to be like no spread of food, but at least have some finger food or something that the ladies can eat on. Because don't about not everybody eats caviar, and when I saw that caviar, I'm just like I was kind of repulsed and a little disgusted. Just me, because I don't do. That's not something that I would want to try. So we see the ladies as they went out to dinner, right? So the ladies are very interesting because Uba is someone, I think she said she likes to sit and face north. I didn't understand that. We also find out that Uba, as well as Jenna, they don't drink, and that's fine. Um, so once again, we bring up the conversation about sex and the fact that Jessel and her husband have not had sex in a year. So they were talking about how many times did they have sex before getting married, and I think she was saying like 3 to 4 times a week. And so Uber was like, "Is that in one night?" And they were like, "Wait a minute, so you have sex more than once in a night?" She was like, "Yeah." But then they showed a flashback to last week's episode when she was talking about she's just a starfish in bed. And then we also found out that Jessel, so when Jessel and her husband, they actually lived with each other. They were roommates before they got into a relationship with each other. They actually dated other people as well. And then she talked about the fact that she had fertility issues and she went through IVF. I don't believe that she told anyone in her family, because I guess there's a shame or a stigma if you can't have kids naturally, which that's very interesting to me. But hey, I have nothing to say about that, right? So then we also talked about Jenna's love life, right? So they asked, I think it was Jessel who asked Jenna, when did she notice men just didn't do it for her, right? So Jenna says that she really didn't. So she has a friend who's a lesbian, and she was still married at the time, but she was coming up on her 40th birthday, and she knew that something wasn't right in her life, and she just didn't want to go through the next 40 years feeling like this, right? So I think she said she went out with her friend who's a lesbian, and was asking her some questions, and I guess somewhere along the line, she started to realize that she had some kind of feelings for her friend. I don't know if she acted on the feelings, because she did say at one point they went out and she just wanted to kiss her, but I don't think they ever acted on their feelings. So they did. She did talk about how she got outed. So she said that she was outed by the New York Post, and that they paged her. So when she answered the phone, they said that they had the New York Post that said that she was out with a woman, and they wanted to know if she confirms or denies it. And before she knew anything, she had just said confirm, right? So they also asked her, is she in a relationship with someone, and she said yes. that she does have a girlfriend and that she just doesn't want to share that person, right? And what I will say, despite the fact that, even though I do like, not despite the fact, even though I do like Jenna, I will say I don't like the fact that she wants to be secretive. You're on a reality TV show and you're supposed to put your real life on this show, right? Now I do get it that your girlfriend doesn't want to be seen in that light, right? You're the public figure, and I get that, right? But it just kind of feels, let me know what you guys think, because I feel like I can understand it, but then I don't understand it, because when you sign up for a reality TV show, you sign up to give people your real, true, authentic self, which we're still getting her real, true self. We just don't see her relationship. So yeah, feel free to let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section, because I'm torn. Like, one part of me is like, yeah, I can understand her wanting to protect her girlfriend's identity, and you signed up for a reality show and not her. But then the other side of me is like, but on the flip side, you signed up for a reality show. You signed up to put your life on display, and you're withholding certain things from your life. So yeah, definitely in the comment section, let me know what you guys think about that. And we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the episode, you guys. So at one point, the ladies went to the restroom. So it was Aaron, it was Uba, and it was I believe it was Sai, right? So they went to the restroom, and Uba, I will say Uba is definitely a character, you guys. And I rocks with Uba. So Uba ended up going into the kitchen, and I was like, oh my God, they're gonna kick y'all right out of this restaurant. Then at one point, I think she went into like the pantry and took some either coconut milk or coconut oil. I was like, oh my God. Like I said last week, so yes, she is related to Chanel Lyon from Real Housewives of Dubai. And I see so many similarities with them. There are so many similarities. So we then get back to the house, and the ladies, remember, I told you earlier that, you know, um, that Jenna had got them some, what did she get? The lingerie, right? So they all tried on the lingerie. Uba at one point, I don't think she was too much feeling her lingerie, but when she finally tried it on, she looked amazing in it, right? And then Aaron tried hers on, she liked it. Sai tried hers on and she liked it. Then we get Jessel. Jessel tried on that lingerie. Like I said, it was ill fitted. And I mean, she was talking about how ugly it was, how it looks like a Christmas tree and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, Jessel, it's one thing to vocalize how you feel about it, but damn, you are being very rude and very disrespectful to Jenna. And Jenna didn't even say anything about it. And I really did feel super duper bad for Jenna. I felt so bad for Jenna. And that's really where the episode ended, you guys. But please drop down in the comment section and let me know what you guys thought about this episode. And as always, you guys stay safe out there. Please take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, you guys. Be blessed. And I will see you guys in the next one. So I'll see you guys later on for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. See you guys then. Bye.